A warm greetings to all. So today we are going to see the course Python programming, and in this Python programming we are going to see the concepts that to be values and types. Okay, so now usually in a programming language or for writing a programs we need the help of values. Okay, so in terms of input and output we will be passing the datas. Okay, so we'll be passing the datas, and these datas will be having some weightages, and that weightages will be saying it as value. For example, for adding two numbers we need to provide two values or two datas, input datas, right? So those two input datas will be having its own weightage and we will be saying that as values. Okay, right? So this value can be set as a basic thing in a program. Okay, so it is a basic thing in a program, and these values will be of different types. Okay, so in ordinary numbers itself we will be having many different types. Okay, so decimal numbers with decimal points, numbers in positive, numbers in negative, numbers in with exponentials. Likewise we'll be having many different type of numbers. Similarly, in case of a programming language we will be dealing with many different type of values. Okay, so those values we can categorize into many different types. Okay, so among them some of the mostly used different values are integer, float and strings. Okay, so these are the common values which we are using in different programming languages. Okay, so in case of Java, in case of C++, we have the data types, sorry, we have the values set as integers, float and strings. Okay, right? So these integers are nothing but the numbers, the whole numbers. Floating point or float is said to be the numbers with decimal points. For example, 45.67, 32.5, so and so. Okay, and strings are nothing but characters or set of alphabetic letters or single words or English words. Okay, so here we can say the numbers with decimal points are set as floating point numbers. Okay, and strings, that is, I told you that the string is nothing but a set of characters or a set of alphabetic letters. Okay, right? So in order to make this characters or alphabetic letters to be recognized by the programming language, we will be enclosing it with some codes. Okay, so that we will be seeing in the coming videos or in the coming contents. Okay, right. So many type of data we are sending into the programming, right? Programming language or to the coding, right? So if you want to know the type of data, okay, so for example, take I am sending a data set to be 2.5, right? So I need to send, if I need to know that to which category it belongs to, right? To which category it belongs to means I can use a syntax set to be type of value, right? So here I have taken a IDLE, and to know a data type, right? For example, I am giving a data to be 4.5, right? So I need to know which type it belongs to. For that I can use a function set to be type, and within that I have to enclose this value set to be 4.5. Okay, and if I execute it I will be getting the class. Okay, I will be getting the class set to be float, that is this number belongs to the type set to be, or this number belongs to the value set to be floating point number. Okay, here we have some examples. So here we have the first case is type of hello, right? So it is nothing but a group of alphabetic characters. So it belongs to the types, or it belongs to the value set to be string. Okay, then type of 17, right? To which type it belongs to? It belongs to integer. Okay, and here you can see a difference. Okay, so type of 17, and in the next line we have given type of 17 within quotes. I already told you that to specify a string or to specify a value with, if you specify a value within quotes, then it will be considered as string. Okay, so in the demo itself I will be showing you. So type of 17, so here it will be class, it is integer. Okay, so similarly type of 17 within quotes it specifies it belongs to string. Okay, right? So whatever values, either it can be numbers, either it can be floating point, digit, whatever you have enclosed within quotes, it will be considered as string. Next, so here these values, right? So these values, we have seen that these values, everything will be of different types, right? So we can categorize all the values, or we can categorize all the input values, whatever we are providing into a coding to execute can be categorized into 5 different broad categories. Okay, so here you can see in the image itself, the broad categories are given here. That is numbers, boolean, sequence, sets, dictionary. Okay, so under the numbers category, we have 3 types. One is integer, second case it is floating point, third case it is complex number. Okay, under the sequence, we have 3 different types. One is string, tuple and list. Okay, so in the coming slides we can see each one about in detail. Okay, so next case number. Okay, so numbers is nothing but the values which having numerical weightages or the numerical value. Okay, so here the numbers will be having numerical values. Okay, here the data are immutable. That is, if you declare it, you will not be able to change the items or values. Okay, you will not be able to change the values or items. Okay, right. So this number data type supports 3 different type of numbers. One is integer, floating point numbers and complex numbers. So here we can see the integers. Okay, integers means it is a combination of positive and negative numbers which with 0. Okay, right? So combination of numbers from 0 to 9, and it will be positive as well as negative numbers. Okay, so in program we will be writing the integer values or the integer data types without using any commas. Okay, so we will not be using any commas or we will not be using any quotes. Okay, right? And also, accidentally, if you are declaring a integer into in a string, in a format of a string, you have an option to convert it into a numerical number. That is, it can be converted into a float. Okay, for example, you can see a demo. So here I am enclosing the value 16 in a quotes. Okay, so now it is a string. Okay, so now we shall see to which data type it belongs. So 16 within quotes. So here you can see it belongs to the data type set to be string. Okay, so if I need to convert this, okay, if I need to convert this into a integer, what I shall do is I can use integer, and within the integer I have to use the same thing. Okay, right? Either it can be single quote or either it can be double quote, right? So I am using a single quote and I am giving. Okay, so I am entering. So here you can see the change. Okay, right? So in the earlier case, I have given it within quotes so that it became string, and now I have given it in ordinary integer, right? So I have given it into the integer function, so that what happens, it changed to integer, right? So this is a way how a integer data type or a string can be converted into an integer value. Okay, similarly, so here we have float. Okay, float means, as told earlier, it is a combination of numbers with decimal point or which contains a fraction part. Okay, right? So the float function converts a string into a floating point, right? So whatever number which we are enclosing within double quotes, it can be converted into float. Okay, as usual, which we have seen earlier. Okay, and also the fraction point, right? So if you are giving the number with exponential values, also it can be changed into a floating point number. Okay, so here you can see the example 8.3 e power 1 or e1, right? So it is getting changed into 83.0. Okay, and next case is complex, right? So as all know that complex number will be having a real part as well as imaginary part. Okay, so real part will be of a numerical number, imaginary part will also have a numerical number followed by a j. Okay, followed by a value set to be j, or followed by a letter set to be j. Okay, in mathematics we have seen it as I, and in case of programming we are using the value set to be j. Okay, next character or the next category is boolean, right? So the boolean data type has values either true or false. Okay, right? So while executing any characters or if you are going to execute, or if you are going to check whether the equality between the values will be given with the output set to be true or false. Okay, so but internally it will be represented as 1 and 0. Okay, right? Mainly these Boolean operations are used for checking the uh, to compare some values, and as a result you will be getting the Boolean values as a output. Okay, so here you can see 4 equal to 8, right? So usually we know that 4 is not equal to 8, so we are getting the result as false. Okay, and similarly 4 greater than 8, sorry, 4 less than 8, right? So it is true, so you are getting the value as true. Next case, it is sequence, right? So it is the next third category of data type, sequence, right? Sequence is an ordered collection of items indexed by positive integers, right? Sequence is a ordered collection of items, right? So we'll be having many different type of items or elements, and each and every items or elements which you are providing will be having its own positional value. Okay, that positional value is said to be the index numbers or indexed. Okay, right? So in the sequence category we have three different data types: string, list, and tuples. Okay, right? So here in this category itself we have two different types, right? So in some sequence types we will be able to change the value, in some sequence type we will not be able to change the value. Okay, hence the term mutable and immutable is provided. Okay, right? So while seeing the data types in detail we will be able to find out the difference between this mutable and immutable. Okay, so in the upcoming sessions we will be seeing about this. Okay, right? So in this sequence category we have three different data types: one is string, list, and tuples or tuple. So string is nothing but a sequence or sequence series of characters. Okay, so sequence or a series of characters, that is it can have letters, numbers, special characters. Okay, and here the representation of string should be written in quotes. Okay, so you have to enclose the characters, or you have to enclose the words, or you have to enclose the sentence within the quotes, right? So the quotes can be either single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Okay, so in the screen itself you can see, okay, how the single quotes is used, how we can represent the string in double quotes, as well as how we can represent the string in triple quotes. Okay, so here you can see. Okay, right? So here each and every character provided within the single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes will be having its own index. Okay, so it will be having its own index numbers. Okay, so here you can see sequence of Unicode characters, or sequence of characters which are being enclosed within double and single triple quotes. Okay, right? And here, so if you need to convert a integer or float, or integer and float numbers into a string, then you can use the function set to be str. Okay, so in the previously we have seen that we can convert string into integer. Similarly we can convert integer as well as floating point number into a string. Okay, so for that you can use a function set to be str. Okay, so that what will be happening, the number will be converted into string and it will be given, the output will be given within the quotes. Okay, and the list, the next data type is, it is a list. Okay, so it is also an ordered sequence of items, and the values which are being present inside the in this list can be set as items or elements. Okay, so here the arrangement will be like this. List representation will be the items or elements will be separated by commas, and it will be present, or it is kept inside the square brackets. Okay, the definition of this list will be like this. So it's a collection of elements or items enclosed within square brackets separated by commas. Okay, and also in this list you can have different items with different data types. Okay, so it is not necessary that if you are creating a list it should be a same data type, but you can use different items with different data types. Okay, so that is an advantage of this list. Okay, so here we can see a example of list, right? A equal to spam x 100 1 2 3 4. Okay, right? So this is the format, right? So in order to create an empty list you can use the list function itself. Okay, so in order to create an empty list you can create a list function itself. Okay, next is a tuple, right? So tuple is same as the head of a list, but here the tuple representation, here we will be using the parenthesis or brackets instead of square bracket. Okay, so the definition will be same as that of list, but the representation will be somewhat different while comparing with list. Okay, so in the list the values will be enclosed within square bracket. Here the values will be enclosed within parenthesis. Okay, and here it is an immutable list, right? That is, here we will not be able to change the values, right? So once if you declare a tuple, you will not be able to change the value, or you will not be able to remove the element from the created list. Okay, so these are the examples of creating a list, right? So here you can say t equal to sun, month and wet, right? So these enclosed within brackets or parentheses, and each item is separated by commas. Okay, right? So in the first example we have given the string. Okay, and in the second example single character is used. Okay, so single character is used and a single character tuple has been created here. Okay, the next, it is set. So it is also an unordered collection of item, and here the difference is we will be enclosing the values between curly braces. Okay, so the definition is same. You will be having items or elements and everything will be enclosed within curly braces. Okay, that is the case of sets. Here you can see, right? So here for creating a set you can use the function set to be set. Okay, or else you can use the curly brackets and you can intact the values in it. Okay, so in this here you can see the first example we have given a pass the string to the function set to be set, so that a set is been created. Here in the second example we have directly declared a set, right? A equal to curly brackets 52314, right? So here you can see it is a set, right? Okay, and finally it is a dictionary. So a list is an ordered set of objects and dictionary is an unordered set of objects. Okay, I will be declaring a dictionary, and if you print the values the output will be shown and the arrangement of values will be different from the input given. Okay, so here all the values will be associated in the format of key value pairs. Okay, so you'll be having a key, and for that key you will be having a value, right? So associated key and an associated value will be there, right? Okay, and here the operations whatever we are carrying out in string, tuples and list, we will not be able to do it with this dictionaries. Okay, so dictionaries will not be supporting the operations which we will be able to carry out in sequence data type. Okay, so here you can see this is a declaration of a dictionary. Okay, so food is equal to ham. So here ham, egg and rate will be set as key. Yes, yes, and 450 will be set as values. Okay, right? So if you need to get the rate of a food or rate set to be 450 as output, so here what you have to do is you have to extract the key. Okay, so first you have to initialize the key, or you have to extract the key, so that the value present inside that key will be given to you as an output. Okay, thank you.